Good afternoon. Welcome to another presentation as part of the presentation series on world geography that's being presented during the coronavirus pandemic. For those of you that are coming to this presentation for the first time, my name is Gary LeFort. I'm a president of Business and Government Services, a consultant firm in Hamden, Massachusetts. I'm also a retired associate professor from the American International College in Springfield, Massachusetts. Today what we'll do is, in the first part of the presentation, we'll go over the questions and answers to Geography Test 14. And at the end of the presentation, I'll conclude with another set of questions for Geography Test 15. In putting together these different tests, I don't try to focus on just one region of the world, but rather the different regions of the world. And if you look at this chart for a minute, I'll give you an overview of what the different geographical regions of the world are. The first region is the Americas. The second region is Europe. The third region is the Russian Federation. The reason why I address it as sort of a separate region is because geographically speaking, it's territorially the largest country in the world. And you can see, looking at the world, how significant the Russian Federation is, at least geographically speaking. Region 4 is Asia. Region 5 is Sub-Saharan Africa. And Region 6 is the Middle East, which is generally referred to as the Arab world. This introduction of the different regions is the basis that I use in forming the different questions in each of the tests that I give each week. So let's begin with the questions and answers to Geography Test 14. As you can see on this chart, I will give you the question and also the answer. Question 1. What is the only sea on Earth with no coastline, and what ocean do you find this sea? The answer is Sargasso Sea. It's characterized by its brown sargassum seaweed and calm blue water. Is bounded by 4 ocean currents. Those ocean currents are the Gulf Stream, the North Atlantic Stream, the Canary Stream, and the North Equatorial Stream. That these 4 defining streams forms this sea, and it takes place in the Atlantic Ocean. Question 2. What 2 countries border the Dead Sea? The Dead Sea is also known as the Salt Sea. It is bordered by the country of Israel to the west and Jordan to the east. Question 3. Name the capital of the following countries. The capital of Peru, which is in South America, the capital is Lima. The Dominican Republic is Caribbean America. Its capital is Santo Domingo. Romania is in Eastern Europe. Its capital is Bucharest. Central African Republic is in Equatorial Africa. Its capital is Bangui, and Bahrain is in the Middle East on the Arabian Peninsula. Its capital is Manama. Question 4. What new island in the Atlantic Ocean near Iceland was formed by volcanic eruptions in 1963 and has become a natural laboratory for plant and animal wildlife observations? The island's name is Circe. And this island is internationally protected as far as visits by tourists, for example. By isolating this, they really want to see what is the natural evolution of wildlife and plant life on this island if there is no human interaction. So it'll really be interesting to see some of the results that are coming out of the research that's being done. Question 5. What present-day country was known as Mesopotamia? It is often called the cradle of civilization. The answer is Iraq, which is in the Middle East. Question 6. Where is Wake Island? Be specific in your response. It is a territory of what country? Wake Island is a U.S. territory. It is an atoll in the Pacific Ocean, approximately 2,000 miles west of the Hawaiian Islands. After the attack on Pearl Harbor, the Japanese attacked Wake Island. You've generally heard of the Battle of Wake Island, to prevent the United States from being able to launch naval operations into the Pacific at the start of the war. And Japan was able to maintain control over the island during the war, but at the end of the war, when it surrendered, it did return it back to the control of the United States in September 1945. Question 7. Name the largest, most famous structure on the Acropolis in Athens, Greece. Answer is the Parthenon. It was dedicated to the Greek goddess Athena. Construction started in 447 BC and was completed in 438 BC. Question 8. Where is San Marino located? Be Pacific. What is San Marino famous for? The answer, San Marino is the 3rd smallest country in Europe. I believe it's the 5th smallest country in the world. It is a landlocked country in the Emilia-Romagna marsh region of Italy. It is claimed to be the world's oldest constitutional republic. And I also have a photo of San Marino that I'll show you at the end of the presentation as well. Question 9. Name the 3 largest gulfs in the world in descending order. The answer is the Gulf of Mexico, which is in the southern part of the United States, near both Mexico and Cuba. The Gulf of Guinea is off the western coast of the continent of Africa, near Gabon, which is a country in equatorial Africa. And then you have the Gulf of Alaska, which is off the southern part of Alaska, off the coast of Canada. The last question, 10. Name the world's highest waterfall and where is it located? The answer is Angel Falls. It's at a height of 979 meters, or that equates to 3,212 feet. It is located in the Camaima National Park in Venezuela. I also have a photo of that I'll show you at the end of the presentation also. That concludes the questions and answers for geography test number 14. Let me now show you the questions for geography test number 15. Next week I will give you the answers to the test. Question number 1. Nippon or Hihan refers to what Asian country? 2. What 2 main islands comprise the British Isles? The British Isles is off the coast of mainland Europe. Question 3. Name the capital of the following countries: the Cayman Islands, Switzerland, Libya, Laos, and Bhutan. Question 4. In terms of geographical latitudes, when you look at the world, it's generally defined as a relative position goes in terms of latitudes and longitude. In terms of global latitudes, name the 5 major circles starting at the North Pole and ending at the South Pole. Question 5. Where is New Caledonia located? Be Pacific. It's a territory of what country? Question 6. Islands in the Pacific Ocean are divided into what 3 island groupings? Question 7. Name the country that lies partly in Europe in Asia. Question 8. Name the 3 largest seaports in the world in descending order. Question 9. What is the highest mountain range in the continent of Africa? And the last question, question 10. Name the 5 most spoken languages in the world today. Which of these languages is considered the world's business language? That concludes the questions for Geography Test 15. I think as you go over those questions, you can see I tried to draw questions from the different regions that we talked about earlier in the presentation. For those of you that would like to download the questions for this test or past tests to include the answers to those tests that have been given to date, and also see videos that have been given in the past, you can go to the website eastlongmeadowweather.org and get not only the questions and the answers, but also an opportunity to review past videos as well. What I'd like to do now is just spend a few minutes going over some photos of some of the questions in 14 that I talked about earlier that I think you would find interesting. This is the Parthenon, which is on the Acropolis in Athens, Greece. goes back to the Greek civilization. It was completed in 438 BC. I have been here. It is really a spectacular sight to be on the top of the Acropolis overlooking the city of Athens and recognize the fact that this historical site is 2,500 years old and still very much standing. That center structure in the middle of the Acropolis is the Parthenon that I mentioned earlier, that is dedicated to the Greek god Athena. This is San Marino, again a country located in the country of Italy. It's kind of like an enclave, similar to Lesotho in South Africa. It claims to be the oldest constitutional republic in existence today. As you can see, a breathtaking view from the city, a very old city in Europe, in the world for that matter. And the last photo is the Angel Falls. It's in Venezuela, in the Camina National Park. It is a UNESCO World Heritage Site as well. The photos that I've just shown you try to give you a better appreciation of these different historical sites around the world. This concludes the presentation for today. Next week, I will give you the answers to Geography Test 15. I hope as you've gone through these tests, found it interesting and fun. That certainly it has expanded your knowledge of where countries are located around the world. It has also given you an idea of places that you would probably like to travel on your own, that is developing your own bucket list of countries that you would like to travel to. I'd like to thank you for your attention today. Be safe, stay healthy, and see you next week.